The summons arrived in the mail just 3 days before Christmas, chilling me far more effectively than the December wind outside. It wasn't a festive greeting. It was a formal notice that my own daughter, Leela 32, was suing me. The core demand, outlined in the cold, legalistic language, was breathtaking in its audacity. Leela demanded that I, Victor 68, a retired aerospace engineer living on a fixed pension, immediately pay off the remaining $350,000 mortgage on her luxury suburban home. Her argument, which she presented as fact, was that I had verbally promised her the equivalent of the house's value years ago, and that refusing to pay the mortgage now constituted emotional distress, financial negligence, and familial breach of trust. She saw my life savings and my modest but secure financial portfolio, the result of 40 years of meticulous planning, not as my security, but as her personal, unearned entitlement. The entire legal filing was orchestrated by her aggressive, slick husband, Brendan 36, a financial advisor whose own high-risk investments were now teetering on the edge of collapse. He had convinced Leela that this ludicrous lawsuit was the only way to save their perfect, fragile suburban life. What they didn't know was that while I may have been retired, my mind was anything but idle, and my entire career had been built on precise, complex problem solving and finding the critical flaw in any system. They had opened a legal door, but they didn't realize they had stepped into a trap built by a man who calculated risk for NASA. The court case wasn't going to be about my fictional promise. It was going to be about uncovering the very real rot at the center of their marriage and their finances. Was I wrong to use the legal discovery process, intended to gather facts about my assets, to instead systematically dismantle their entire fraudulent financial life? Or was the courtroom the only place left to teach my entitled daughter the devastating consequences of greed? Tell me, if your child sued you for hundreds of thousands of dollars you didn't owe, would you settle to keep the peace, or would you fight back so hard you exposed every ugly secret they held? My name is Victor 68, and until retirement, my job was to ensure that complex orbital mechanics didn't end in catastrophic failure. I value precision, documentation, and logic above all else. My financial life is comfortable but modest. A paid-off small home and a portfolio I managed myself, which yields me a steady income. Leela, my only child, has always been difficult, but her entitlement intensified when she married Brendan 10 years ago. Brendan operates on a mentality of fake it till you make it, maintaining a facade of wealth that requires constant, massive injections of cash. He convinced Leela they deserved the best. A $550,000 house, luxury cars, and private school for my 2 grandsons, all financed with maximum leverage. The alleged promise they based the lawsuit on was a casual comment I made years ago at a family dinner, saying I hoped to leave them the equivalent of a house's value one day. In their filing, they twisted this into an immediate, legally binding oral contract for the current $350,000 mortgage payoff, claiming the stress of the debt was debilitating Leela. I knew Brendan was the puppet master. His business was failing, the house was dangerously over-leveraged, and he was terrified of losing the status he craved. Suing the rich dad was their last desperate Hail Mary. I didn't panic. I called my lawyer, *MS. Chen *, a sharp, no-nonsense litigation expert. I told her two things. First, we are fighting this to the absolute end. Second, I want to use the discovery process not just defensively, but offensively. The core of their claim was financial duress on Leela's part, which, under civil law, opened up their entire joint financial life for examination during discovery. This was the critical flaw in their plan, the precise error in their calculation that I, the aerospace engineer, was ready to exploit. They wanted to expose my portfolio. I was going to expose their fraud. The process began immediately after the new year. The first step was the exchange of documents. They demanded every detail of my liquid assets. In return, Ms. Chen filed broad requests for all joint tax returns, all investment account statements, all mortgage and loan documents, and all business operating statements, for Brendan's firm for the past 5 years. Their legal team tried to fight the breadth of our requests, calling them irrelevant to the plaintiff's claim of verbal contract. But Ms. Chen countered brilliantly. The plaintiff claims duress and distress caused by financial negligence on the part of the defendant. Therefore, the full financial context of the plaintiff's household, including how debt was accrued and managed, is relevant to proving or disproving the severity and origin of that duress. The judge agreed. The floodgates opened. What poured out of their documents was a river of highly leveraged, poorly documented, and arguably criminal financial maneuvering. The critical flaw I spotted was in their mortgage and tax filings. They had taken out 2 separate, undisclosed home equity lines of credit, HELOCs against their house, totaling over $150,000, using forged signatures for the income verification on the second loan. These HELOC funds weren't used for repairs. They were funneled directly into Brendan's failing business to cover his operational losses. The second, even more damning discovery was in Brendan's business statements. He had been advising clients to invest in a specific, high-risk, unregistered security while secretly using his clients' investment funds to repay his personal business debts. A textbook definition of investment fraud and commingling of funds The duress wasn't coming from my refusal to pay a non-existent promise. It was coming from Brendan's impending financial collapse, which he was trying to hide by diverting attention to me. Leela was not just a victim. The tax returns showed she was aware of some of these commingled transactions. So that's the situation I was in. My daughter and her husband sued me for $350,000, opening up their entire financial life to my scrutiny. I had just uncovered evidence of forged loan documents, potential tax fraud, and commingling of client investment funds felonies they hadn't realized I would find. They believed I was just an old man with money. I was an investigator with a license to dig. Before I tell you about the crushing pretrial move I made that resulted in their complete financial and legal destruction, I want you to pause and comment below what you would have done in my shoes. Would you have quietly leveraged the fraud evidence to force them to drop the suit? Or would you have filed a criminal complaint that ensured they lost the house, their careers, and their freedom? I chose to file the criminal complaint. Forcing them to drop the suit would only have delayed the inevitable collapse and allowed Brendan to find a new victim. I needed to apply the catastrophic failure protocol. Ms. Chen and I did not address the fraud in our civil responses. We went straight to the authorities. We meticulously organized the evidence, the forged HELOC paperwork, the commingled funds trail from the business account, statements to their joint checking, and the deceptive tax returns, and presented it to the *** Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, ***, and the *** District Attorney's Economic Crimes Unit. ***, the result was immediate and devastating. The district attorney saw a clear, prosecutable case of bank fraud and tax evasion. The SEC saw egregious investor fraud. The morning of the pretrial conference, Leila and Brendan were not in the courtroom. They were being served search warrants at their home and their respective offices. Instead of fighting the civil case, Ms. Chen addressed the judge with a calm, chilling statement. "Your Honor, the defendant moves for summary dismissal with prejudice. The plaintiff's claimed duress stems not from any act of defendant, but from the plaintiff's impending criminal investigation by federal and local authorities for multiple counts of ** bank fraud, securities violations, and tax evasion **, which was uncovered during the discovery phase of this case. The plaintiff's actions constitute frivolous litigation aimed at obstructing justice." The judge, who was already holding a briefing from the DA office, immediately granted the dismissal. The $350,000 mortgage claim was annihilated. The consequence for Leila and Brendan was a total systemic failure. 1. ** arrest and charges. ** Brendan was arrested and formally charged with multiple felonies related to securities, fraud, and bank fraud. Leila was charged as an accessory, primarily for the tax evasion and knowingly benefiting from the fraud. 2. ** asset seizure and foreclosure. ** The SEC and the banks immediately moved to seize all assets related to the fraudulent loans. The home, the object of the initial lawsuit, was foreclosed upon to repay the illegally obtained HELOCs and cover the mounting legal fees and regulatory fines. They lost the house, the cars, and the remnants of Brendan's business. 3. ** repayment judgment. ** I successfully petitioned the court to recover all my legal fees from Leila, ensuring that the small remaining liquidity they had was wiped clean. The luxury suburban life they had desperately tried to cling to disintegrated completely. Leila, facing the reality of prison time, finally confessed that she knew about some of the HELOCs but believed Brendan would fix it by winning the lawsuit against me. She lost her husband, her home, her reputation, and her freedom. I saw Leila one last time before she pleaded guilty. She looked destroyed, no longer entitled, but genuinely terrified. She didn't apologize, she just asked, "How could you do this to me?" "You forced my hand, Leila." I replied, my voice steady. "You came after my security with lies and fraud. As an engineer, I eliminate catastrophic threats to the system. You and Brendan were a catastrophic threat. I kept my home. I kept my security. I lost the illusion of a loving relationship with my daughter, but I gained the certainty that I had prevented a dangerous fraudster from continuing to operate and protected my grandchildren from growing up in a house built entirely on criminal lies. It was a victory won not with money, but with cold, hard logic and superior documentation. Like this video, if you believe that a good accountant is better than a bad lawyer. Subscribe for more stories where entitlement meets total exposure. Share your final thoughts on Brendan's fatal mistake of inviting a retired engineer into his financial secrets in the comments section below. I'll see you all in the next story.